Hello Zang Gang, I am making a new Fl4k build. A lot of people have been wanting me to make a Rakk attack build for quite a while, and I finally worked on it and I made one for you guys. It is a lot of fun. It deals way more damage than my fadeaway build just because of the way it works. So the whole idea behind the build is Rakk attack is a really fast cooldown time, so you can proc your anointments very quickly, which is great. It's just like fake grasping. It's kind of what Amara does. So if you've never watched one of my build videos, I'm going to show you some gameplay to try to persuade you of the build, and then I'm going to go through a very in-depth description on why I ran everything I did. Also coming with this build was also made to run the Takedown. So I will be making a full tutorial on how to run the Takedown with this build, either later today or maybe sometime this weekend. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you're in the community Discord in the pinned comment down below. Let's get right into it. Before we get too far into this video, I do have to stop and pay respect to our fallen warrior Bloodwing. I was a Mordecai main on Borderlands 1. This build is a tribute to you, Bloodwing. I love you and you will be missed. Alright, here we are in the last two waves of the slaughter shaft. Hasn't been too bad. 0 deaths so far. There has been a lot of downs though. That's okay, my pet will get me, or I'll get a second one from killing something. Just gotta constantly be spamming those racks. I like to do in between reloads a lot. This dude's a single target, so my brainstormer's actually not doing a whole lot. There we go. Get these hardened badasses over here. A lot of cryo here, which I'm not used to. I'm not used to seeing so much cryo, but there's so much cryo here. Luckily, I'm not Zane, so it's not that big of a deal, but it is annoying. There we go. Oh, we got an anointed. That's fun. Oh man. Good, just stand there and take my bullets. Oh gosh, that stupid move. I don't know how my pet is alive. Did I not harm pets for some reason? Need to move. There we go. Try to get this anointed out of the way.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Whew. That was bad. Almost lost my cool there. Yeah, this Maggie and single target just nasty. Woo. Last round of the slaughter shaft. Where that big Pokemon thing spawns in. Your drop ship. Another anointed. Oof, they're really testing us now. As long as he doesn't spawn that stupid ball, man. It's the only thing that's bad about these ones. Oh, he's so close. Come on. There we go. Let's just brainstormer the rest. Stand still to get some extra damage, even though I know I'm gonna die. And my pet just spawned, so that was pretty good timing. Just Maggie the rest of them down. Oof. Oh, that was unfortunate. I slid into a grenade. That's what the pet's for. More cryo. There's the boss. Hopefully he drops us a nice shred of fire. Ooh, he leveled up. Didn't want to chain with him for some reason. Gonna run out of brainstormer ammo here. Gotta shoot the tank to be able to hit him. That's kind of strange. Shooting the boss isn't the best thing with the brainstormer. There's the boss. What do you drop? No anointment. Hippity hopper. I don't know if that's even dedicated. Probably is. And last few enemies here. Bam! There's the slaughter shaft with the Bloodwing Fl4k. Alright, just to show this build is pretty viable all around, I'm gonna go kill Graveward. Those are our modifiers. We have shield, grenade, and melee damage up. So we are pretty neutral right now. I will show the Lauda when we are going over the weapons showcase. Still does pretty decent for boss damage. Just gotta keep proccing it up. And he's dead. You could even probably elemental projector there if you'd like. Alright, we're coming up on Bridge of the Takedown. Here are our challengifiers. We got skill damage up and cooldown rate. Not that important to the build, to be honest. But I will show you. This is obviously with Mallowan still scaled down, so it's going to be pretty easy. But it handles it extremely well. Just using this brainstormer. Same thing with the slaughter shaft. You got to keep spamming the racks as often as possible. A lot of cryo here as well, I guess. These heavyweights, especially the storm truckers, just maggie them quick. Some more. Alright, I'm just gonna skip to the end now. Am I like infinitely cryoed or something? That was weird. Didn't really look like I was cryoed, but I was. Alright, spawn everything and just brainstormer. It's nice being into these tempests is what I call them, so you can just infinitely heal. Oof, that's a down. I normally don't go down here, but even if I do, it's not that big of a deal. Just keep brainstorming. We gotta have a heavyweight here. Let's just clean him up quick. Keep spamming those rack attacks. Cleans house pretty quick with a nice brainstormer. It's pretty insane. That Megavore proccing all the time is pretty crazy. You can also Maggie the Death Spears, which you'll see here in a second. Make sure to have your rack attack procced, so yeah. Get your elements. Alright, here's the heavyweights. Last part of the bridge. Pretty easy. You just brainstormer through them. I'll switch the Maggie to clear this one off. And there you go. That's the bridge with the Bloodwing Fl4k. Hello, Zangang. Time to go over the build that did the takedown. We did about 4 takedowns so far, I think, today. I have died to Wotan twice, so it is going to need a little bit more practice. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So, there's 2 main weapons of this whole build. The other 2 are pretty optional. Alright, the very first main weapon of the build is the Brainstormer. You don't know this weapon, you must not have been playing this game long. This is one of the most used weapon in the game. It is a very strong chain damage weapon. You watch me use it in the slaughter shaft a lot and in that bridge portion. I do suggest you to get the ×14 version of any form you can. The one that I like the most so far is the incinerary ×14. A shock ASC would be good, or any kind of action skill, and really would be pretty good. You could even get a Rakk attack one if you'd like. I wouldn't do the best, but could. The elemental ones will do the best because those are the only things that go to the tendons and deal a chain damage as well. All the other anointments only buff the actual pellets that come out of the shotgun. For our next weapon, we were using the Cutsman just because it's the strongest weapon to use on Wotan body currently. There's nothing else I could make deal the damage of a Cutsman. I don't exactly like using this on Fl4k because he doesn't reload very fast and it's a pretty slow firing weapon, but it's what we have to do because it's the strongest weapon to take out the Wotan body, so that's why it is here. The third weapon so far is the Maggie. This is the second weapon I was talking about that you need for this build. You absolutely need a Maggie. Now, the best form of the Maggie is the 526 ×6. So you're going to want to find one of them. And then just find a good anointed one. This is pretty hard to farm because it does come from the boss at the end of the Cistern of Slaughter. It's almost better to try to get a world drop one to come, either from Agonizer, Graveward, Kilovolt, you know, Gigamon, any boss you want to farm. It's probably better to do that for the world drop. Oh yeah, the Brainstormer drops from Takedown Ball, if you guys did not know. Kind of a pain to farm, but if you want the Brainstormer, farm Takedown Ball until you get the one you like. The fourth weapon here is the Conference Call currently. This one I'm iffy on. It's a really good weapon to take out the head, but I actually just had it glitch kill the head, which is unfortunate. When you glitch kill the head, the image of the head detaches from the actual enemy of the head. I don't know, you call it character of the head, and you can't kill the head. It basically just despawns, and it doesn't finish the takedown, and it doesn't drop the loot. I only noticed the ion cannon doing it so far, but I did just make the Conference Call do it. It might be because of the shield and grenade anointments we're using. You can try it out yourself though. It is a pretty good weapon nonetheless, but I was here just to take out the Wotan head. Another good weapon to use here would be the Shreddifier, but I think the best weapon here would be a Corrosive Dictator if you have one. I don't have one yet. Maybe I'll go farm for one, but if you have the Corrosive Dictator, definitely put it in this Conference Call slot. That'll be for taking out the Wotan head. Now, the next 4 gear is extremely vital and important to the build as well. It's what makes the build, right? So the shield is kind of optional, but not really. The Transformer is just simply the best shield to run the takedown with because it gives you the most survivability with that shock damage into shield, and you can absorb bullets. Has a decent capacity, delay, and rate on top of all these good effects, so it has extremely good survivability and efficiency for the takedown. Now, the kind of anointment you want is you want some form of elemental damage anointment. Corrosive is probably the best. If you can't get corrosive, I would go for shock or cryo are probably the next two, but you're gonna want some sort of elemental damage action skill and here to be able to mesh with the Rakk to be able to keep proccing the anointments. All right, for our grenade, the grenade is irrelevant. I don't even throw the grenade, but the anointment is important. It doesn't even matter if this is a blue, white, green, purple, or legendary grenade. You just want to have some form of action skill element. Again, I'm running shock here and corrosive here. That's what I like to run here. You could do cryo and radiation if you would like, but I think the most efficient and most amount of damage combo you can do is corrosive and shock, and this will give it to any weapon that you have equipped. So when you're using your Maggie and dealing that massive damage that the Maggie does, you're dealing corrosive and shock with the kinetic damage, which kills practically anything in the game pretty quickly. When I was farming Graveward, I put a fire grenade on rather than a shock. Oh yeah, also the Transformer is farmable from Kilovolt if you did not know that. The Bounty Hunter is the class mod we are using here. I was debating on the Cosmic Stalker. A lot of my chat tells me that's probably not a good idea. I suggest running the Bounty Hunter, and they do as well, but the Cosmic Stalker is a close second. The Cosmic Stalker makes your hunter skills stronger, so it's kind of like Death Follows or whatever it's called on Zane, that increases 25% of all your kill skills. It's kind of the same thing for Fl4k, but it's in a class mod form. With the Bounty Hunter, you have a chance to proc all your hunt skills when you're dealing gun damage, a lot like Seen Dead, so it's pretty good on Fl4k. It also makes bosses take more damage from hunt skills. I got one with the weapon crit damage, which is obviously pretty vital for the build, and the pistol damage is great for the Maggie. For the relic slot, this is not the correct relic to use here really, but it is a decent one. You're gonna need a snowdrift, absolutely, especially if you're gonna go do the takedown. You need movement speed of some form, and the snowdrift is the form of movement speed that you can bring to the build. The best snowdrift would probably be the snowdrift auto idle. The victory rush is decent, but I don't think a whole lot of enemies in the takedown are actual badasses. I might be wrong in saying that, but I don't think you even proc the victory rush for the whole takedown other than the dogs probably. I know they're badasses, and some of the commandos I guess, but I'm not sure if like heavyweights count and stuff. But I suggest you to run the Snowdrift Auto Idle. The Auto Idle does drop from Tyrene if you want to farm her, and you can get the Snowdrift prefix. I would try for magazine size on the bottom as well. Maybe some pistol damage or shotgun damage to add to it. Alright, now let's go over the skill trees. So for skill trees, we're running mostly Rakk attack, obviously. Hold on, let's take off the class mod so you can see what we're actually running here. So I kind of did the same kind of format I did with my Takedown Zane build. We basically just found the skills we wanted to use and just maximized them. This is a really cool skill right here, Ambush Predator. While there are no enemies nearby, Fl4k's weapon handling and crit damage are increased. It's a really good skill for like my Gamma Burst and Fadeaway skill or builds, but sadly on this Rakk attack, you're up in front taking damage the whole time, so you're not going to be really proccing this skill. That's why I am not running that, because I'm sure I will get a few questions. I am running the healing Rakks, which is great because it does bring a little bit of sustainment in, and I couldn't figure out the second one I wanted to run, so I kind of just put Flock and Load on. I was at first running the Rakk Accelerate, which is actually pretty good too. It's probably better than this one, but it doesn't really matter. This is the one that's most important in my opinion. For the pet, I am running the Spider Ant Scorcher because that's giving me extra elemental damage. And he's really tanky. It also gives you a little bit of health regen, which is pretty great. Obviously, we went for Megavore. It's probably the best skill on Fl4k overall. Fl4k gains a chance to score a critical hit with weapons against any part of enemies. This meshes very good with the Maggie and the Brainstormer, so you're always critting enemies with the chains or just the bullets you don't hit on the crit spot. It's pretty great. The conference call also stacks, so that's pretty good too. That's why you kill the head as fast as you do when you're using the conference call. Now in green trait, we put a few points in just because we had some extra to add a little bit of survivability. Lick the Wounds is a really great Fl4k skill as well. Your pet will come heal you while you're down. That helps me for so many things. That's why I was able to do Slaughter Shaft without dying. That's why I was able to do a lot of the takedown without dying, because you will go down a lot on this build. You kind of have to rely on your pet to heal you a little bit. So Lick the Wounds helps a lot, just in case you do go down when you don't expect to. But you should be expecting to go down a lot because Fl4k is a glass cannon, sadly. But we are getting all these damage reductions and health regen from most of these green tree skills. Nothing into blue tree, and there you go. That is the build. It's made to deal a lot of damage. The whole idea behind the build is casting your Rakk attacks is gonna proc any anointments you have, so you're kind of gonna need some pretty optimal gear to kind of run this build, because you're gonna want some form of action skill and anointments on your shield, grenade, and weapons. That's how you will run Rakk attack the best, because Rakk attack is really easy to proc your anointments. As soon as it leaves your hand, you have your anointments. It's almost better than fake grasping even, which is great. As soon as it leaves your hand, boom, you're buffed in so much damage. there you guys go. That is the build. If you enjoy this, please hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for some more content. Make sure to stay tuned for my tutorial video. I will be doing a tutorial video on how to run the whole raid with this build. I will see you guys in the next one. Smikes out!